have one more day where temperatures stay in the 80s in the afternoon, and then the heat is on again. Monday, your forecast high is 90 degrees again on Tuesday, and then Wednesday 88, so close to 90. But that's before you factor in the humidity. That heat index will peak at 94 on Monday, 98 on Tuesday, and 96 on Wednesday. So that's what it's going to feel like when you combine the heat and the humidity. So again, tomorrow is another day where it's really just typical summer-like weather. We'll be at 77 degrees by 10 a.m., 80 by noon, and there is the slight possibility for an afternoon shower. But we don't have a strong trigger on the way. It's just that typical summertime kind of scenario where you could get a pop-up shower or thunderstorm. Eventually, the live radar showing a cold front that's moving toward us from the Great Lakes. We will get some relief in the form of rain. We'll talk about that in the 7-day forecast. Back to you. To make progress on those power restorations, getting the trees off of power lines and restoring things, because we don't have any big threat for rain in the forecast for the next several days. Overnight tonight, partly cloudy, and fog will develop late overnight tonight. But then once that fog starts to dissipate, we'll see a good amount of sunshine tomorrow. A slight chance for a shower, especially away from the shoreline. But most of us stay completely dry tomorrow, and it does start to warm up a little bit. But the heat returns in earnest on Monday, and that's when we're looking for those 90-degree temperatures to come back in. And as I mentioned earlier in our newscast, that's just one part of the equation, right? The humidity is the other factor. So tomorrow, the forecast heat index will reach a peak of 87 in the city, 86 in Newburgh, and 88 in Princeton. 79 in Shirley, so still nice and comfortable, but we see that heat index soaring to the mid-90s in the city on Monday afternoon, 93 in Newburgh, 89 in Islip and Belmar, a peak heat index of 94, and more of the same on Tuesday, a peak heat index of 96 degrees in Princeton on Tuesday, 94 in Newburgh. And if you're thinking, wow, it's been a pretty hot summer, it's not your imagination. We had 14 degrees of 90 plus in July. Compare that to last year when we only had 10, and 2 years before that, only 6 days that reached 90 degrees. And we've already had 2 heat waves of 5 days. 5 days in a row of 90 plus is hard to take. And if you're still struggling without power, it's going to be especially challenging. But our boat and beach forecast, this could give you a little bit of relief. It's nice to get out there. Now, the rip current risk is low to moderate, so you always want to be at guarded beaches regardless, even if you are a strong swimmer. 90 degrees for your high and Long Branch. 81 in Jones Beach tomorrow. It's going to be a nice day to get out there to the beach. And the air quality is going to be an issue for those who are extremely sensitive, but it's still low enough that just as long as you're not an extreme sufferer, you should be in good shape tomorrow. Tomorrow's high 87 and then Monday 90. We'll talk more about this heat and if there's anything brewing in the tropics coming up in the 7-day forecast. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the heat and humidity are going to start building again over the next few days. Now, we do have the possibility of some isolated thunderstorms every day of this upcoming week, but over the next 3 days, that chance is very, very slim, few and far between. The best chance for rain is going to be on Thursday. That's when just about everyone in the tri-state is going to see a shower or thunderstorm. So it has been a hot summer, especially when you compare it to the past couple. So far in August, we're averaging 84.5 degrees for our high temperature. That is a little bit above where we were in 2019. It's pretty close to 2018, but look at where we finished in July. 87.4 was our average high temperature over the whole course of the month. And compared to 2018, that is a significant difference where we weren't even at 85 degrees for that. So we're hoping to get a change in that trend, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Instead, the heat is returning to the tri-state area. Overnight tonight, 71 degrees. It's going to be a little on the muggy side, primarily because of that fog starting to develop. Some of the suburbs are going to dip into the 60s tonight. And then tomorrow, once that fog dissipates, the humidity will be lingering, and that could be the trigger for just a quick pop-up shower. Most of us, again, stay completely dry tomorrow, and it looks like inland is the place that's more likely to see one of those showers, not along the shoreline. Tomorrow's high temperature, 87 degrees. I wanted to give you a tropical update because things are looking pretty calm in the Atlantic Basin right now. This is the disturbance that we're keeping an eye on for potential development, but that is still at least a week away. And it might not develop at all, but the National Hurricane Center is keeping a close eye on that. And meanwhile, NOAA has updated its hurricane prediction for this year. Does not look good. The revised prediction has 19 to 25 named storms. So named storm is when it's tropical storm strength or greater. 7 to 11 hurricanes, so slight uptick there from the initial projection. And we could see 3 to 6 major hurricanes. That's when it's category 3 or higher. As you know, we've already had all the way up to Isaias. That is the 9th named storm of the season. And by the way, Isaias, the I named storms, we've had more I names retired than any other letter by a pretty significant stretch, actually. It's just one of those oddities. Hurricane season update, though. Our total storms so far, we've had 10 when you include the tropical depression. We've had 2 hurricanes, 7 tropical storms, and then that 1 tropical depression. So a lot more than what we had last year at this time. And unfortunately, we're on track to have a very similar season to 2005 when we had 9 storms at this point. 4 of them were hurricanes, so that's a lot more than what we have so far this year. But it's something that we look at as for what we call those analogs, where we could have that similarity there. In the 7-day forecast, again, the heat is on over the next few days. We're looking at high temperatures. You're going to notice the increase in heat and humidity tomorrow. It's still not bad, though. 6 a.m., 71 degrees. We will have some areas of dense fog, but most of that is gone by 9 o'clock when it's 75. By noon, it's 80 degrees, and tomorrow's high temperature, 87. But in the 7-day forecast, once we get into the work week, we have 90s returning. 90 degrees on Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, a high of 88. And then we're back down where we should be for this time of year by Thursday and Friday with the chance for showers and storms.